This is Appalling News. I'm Paul Chatham. This past week, there was a government-sanctioned day off here in Canada and in the United States. However, when you're retired, holidays feel like a ripoff. Thanks for the day off, but I already have the effing day off. I have every day off. Do you have an alternative perk I could select? Coupons for a package of adult diapers? Discount on cataract surgery? Statutory holidays up here in Canada also mean that most stores are closed, so I can't go out and do anything anyway. It's actually worse than my normal day off. Thanks for the holiday. The Toronto District School Board is Canada's largest and one of the most woke. While Canada is much further behind than the US and the UK in freeing our children from this DEI CRT terrorism, something must have scared the TDSB because they released this document of incontestable core beliefs. Let's go through them. Critical conversations with and amongst staff, teams, divisions, groups, as well as school communities can and should occur in order to enrich and deepen the commitment of anti-oppressive work that is happening in classroom spaces. What this means is, if you tell anyone else about this document, you'll be forced to work the union fundraiser. This teaching resource grounded in anti-oppressive approach is built on the following beliefs. Each point is worth exploring, unpacking, and actioning with larger school communities. Anti-oppressive means anti-white. Beliefs mean not beliefs at all, but you better believe or you're working the fundraiser. Exploring, unpacking, and actioning means we're telling you what to do, bitch. All students are capable of brilliance, and educators should be anchored in an asset-based approach. If you've been fortunate to have children, then you know all students are not capable of brilliance, especially your own. They are capable of lodging plastic objects in all available openings that require a visit to the doctor, however. An asset-based approach does not refer to the subtraction of liabilities from assets. An asset-based approach to teaching, the propaganda says, is one that is grounded in what students can do rather than what they cannot do or areas of weakness. What this translates to is, don't push the limits of your students, perhaps getting them interested in areas which they never thought of. Expand their horizons? We certainly wouldn't want schools to do that, would we? Students' lives must be at the center of their educational experience in schools. No. School is at the center of their lives. It's their first job. If you don't do the work, you fail. Great teachers make great students, not the other way around. Schooling in North America is inherently designed for the benefit of the dominant culture, i.e. white, middle-upper class, male, Christian, cisgender, heterosexual, able-bodied, neurotypical, etc. The interests and needs of the dominant culture determine established behaviors, values, and traditions that are considered acceptable and the norm in education, other institutions, and broader society. Yeah? So what's your problem? Education is a colonial structure that centers whiteness and Eurocentricity, and therefore it must be actively decolonized. Why does it have to be actively decolonized? Immigrants come to Western nations because they want the colonized experience. If they didn't, then they wouldn't have come here in the first place. Race matters. It is a visible and dominant identity factor in determining people's social, political, economic, and cultural experiences. Economic classes matter. Poverty affects everyone equally, but that's not a profitable position if you're one of the new breed of victim race hustler. Hyper-focusing on race actually turns children into racists. And finally, this chestnut. White supremacy is a structural reality that impacts all students and must be discussed and dismantled in classrooms, schools, and communities. There is no such thing as white supremacy, only situational supremacy. Does Nigeria have black supremacy? If I was at your TDSB union fundraiser, would I be surrounded by insufferable preferred pronoun supremacists? You can bet your bottom dollar. Finishing off with these two final bits of news. The wonderful Douglas Murray is coming to Toronto, and of course, it's Twitter to the rescue. Muslims and non-Muslims with a conscience. Douglas Murray will be speaking in Toronto, Canada on February 28th. Find out what the venue is and pressure them nicely to cancel. This man must be deplatformed. Don't you just love it when people who come from countries without freedom of speech move to countries with freedom of speech and don't like that others, other than themselves, have freedom of speech? And the punchline is this self-pleasurer is from the UK, not even Canada. We especially appreciate that he is advocating for nice pressure, not the Charlie Hebdo or Salman Rushdie kind. Thank you. And finally, this young thing, 22-year-old Cressida Gethin, a Just Stop Oil protester, has been convicted of causing a nuisance by climbing onto a gantry over the M25 in West London near Heathrow Airport on July 2022. As a result of the protest by the climate activist, 3,923 British Airways customers were affected by cancellations and delays because they were stuck in their cars for between 4 and 5 hours. This now and in perpetuity unemployable music student somehow did not grasp the excess pollution that her actions created. We here at Appalling News just hope no dinosaurs went extinct. This has been Appalling News, and that's the way it is.